Hello fellow football connoisseurs and welcome back to the Quick Take. Chelsea have managed to get past Leicester City, although it was a little bit shaky towards the end. We did manage to get past them at Stamford Bridge. 4-2 the final score in the quarter-final of the FA Cup, going to the semi-final of the FA Cup, which has now been drawn up, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But first, if you are not subscribed, you will want to be, because at 15,000 subscribers, I'm giving away 3 King of London lightsabers, courtesy of OwnASaber.com. All you need to do to enter is subscribe to the channel, and then check the pin comment down below for more information. Getting straight into the game. Interesting game. Honestly, it wasn't that exciting for me to watch. I missed the Disasi own goal, which was just... I don't really think that was on Sanchez, although Sanchez did have a poor performance overall, in my opinion, and he took too long. He took too long on the ball at some times, and it put us into unnecessary pressure, in my opinion. I think he could have worked a little bit better, as I said, on the ball, playing the ball out faster, and not as dilly-dallying on the ball. It put us under unnecessary pressure, but again, it's cup competition against Leicester, a chance for Petrovic to rest for the upcoming games, which I'll get into in just a minute. But again, 4-2 the final score. 2 great last-minute goals. Carnage Chukwuemeka coming off from the bench, fantastic player, of course, been out for the majority of the season through injury, starting to come back into the side and scored a really nice link-up goal with Cole Palmer. Lovely back heel flick to play Carnage Chukwuemeka in behind, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, slots it past him, makes us 3-2. And then Noni Madueke, who came on as a substitute for Raheem Sterling, and I'll get into Raheem Sterling in just a second, scored an absolute blinder, dribbled past a couple of players, and then boom, I think it was a left foot curler, top left corner, fantastic goal in the 98th minute, if I remember correctly, setting the game to bed. Chelsea 4, Leicester 2. We do have some post-match comments here. So Pochettino said, "What the fans want is to go to Wembley, and that we achieved. They need to trust me to manage in the way I think is best for the club." Pochettino says Sterling is an amazing player. I disagree. And we need to support him. Believes his contribution was good and was unlucky in some actions where he should have scored. Calls for the fans to be behind everyone via BBC Sport. Now, Raheem Sterling had quite possibly one of the worst performances I've seen from a Chelsea player in a while now that game. Missing penalties, skying free kicks, just all round on the ball, woeful. And he was booed as he was coming off. And there was a point in the game where there was a substitution being made. Everyone was expecting it would be Raheem Sterling being taken off, of course, having played terribly throughout the game, and it was instead Mudryk who came off, who was actually playing okay, making things happen, getting involved, being dangerous. He was subbed off earlier. Now, he gave his reasoning for that. Pochettino says, "I'm not here to do what the people want. Also, I am not stupid." For me, I saw Mudryk and we analysed he was tired, doing some stretching. So we decided first for Mudryk and then I've gone out of focus. For Raheem Sterling to come off. We are professional. Now, my quick take on this. If you really want to protect Sterling from unnecessary hate, which I think he received when he was left on for longer than Mudryk, obviously he was booed off the field. When Mudryk came off, Poch was ambled with chance of "you don't know what you're doing." A way in which I think he could have avoided that is when he made the decision to take off Mudryk. He should have also taken off Sterling at that point, because there was a substitution that would have been made, and then bring on Carney and Madueke in one go. Because then that shows that, you're not giving preferential treatment to Sterling. Sterling's going to come off anyway. Mudryk needs to come off apparently for fitness reasons. And I think that would have avoided a lot of the anger and a lot of the volatile shouts towards yourself and Sterling when he came off alone. If he had come off with Mudryk and with Sterling, then I think the fans could have seen that more of a tactical change and not necessarily leaving one player on who's played terribly and taking off a player who's been okay. So I really think that's, if I was in his shoes, that is what I would have done. I would have taken off Sterling and Mudryk at the same time, and not left Sterling on after the performance he just given. But we do have the stats for the game just here. I'm just going to run through them here quickly. 60% possession for Chelsea to Leicester's 40%. 26 total shots for Chelsea to their 5. 8 on target, with 10 being off target and 8 of them being blocked. We had 7 corner kicks to their 3. They picked up a red card. They had 2 yellow cards and they picked up a red card in the game. So at one point they were down to 10 men. A free kick for Chelsea. 12 free kicks for Chelsea, 10 for them. 22 throw-ins, and here's the big one: 6 big chances created to their 1. We did miss 3 of them, and we had 6 counter-attacks to their 0, 5 counter-attacking shots to their 0, lots of zeros for Leicester, and lots of numbers for Chelsea there. Passes 583 to their 398, with 497 of them being accurate. That's an 85% pass accuracy, with 21 out of 51 long balls, 21 long balls being accurate, 51 attempted. Chelsea, stats-wise, dominated Leicester in many metrics. I just want to go with the Disasi own goal here. I really do think that's more on the defender than on Robert Sanchez. It's quite common for goalkeepers, when their team is in possession, when they're building up from the back, to come off their line to be closer towards the centre-backs for easier passing networks. But Disasi didn't register that, and instead he just kind of booted it towards his own goal instead of actually looking up and seeing where Sanchez was. And that was 2-1. Leicester started to get back into the game, of course. They then scored a brilliant goal shortly after that, coming at the hand of Mavididi. But yeah, as I said, Chelsea managed to get a late winner, a couple of late winners, 92nd minute and 98th minute respectively. So, as things stand, Chelsea are now going back to Wembley, semi-final against, and we did have the draw, that's why I waited to upload this video, but we did have the draw, semi-final against Manchester City, and then Manchester United will now face Coventry in the semi-final. They managed to get past Liverpool with a late winner from Ahmad against Liverpool at Old Trafford. Brilliant game for those of you who watched it. But Chelsea will face Manchester City in the semi-final. Now, Chelsea have played Man City twice this season, and we have managed to, well, we didn't lose. We drew both games, 1-4-4 and 1-1-1 a couple of weeks ago. So I wouldn't count Chelsea out immediately, but we do have a little bit of context regarding the fixtures coming up. So Chelsea FC fixtures around the Man City game, which is on the 20th of April. We play Everton 5 days before that on April 15th at home, and then Man City again at Wembley on the 20th, whereas Man City, they play Real Madrid at home on April 17th, and then 3 days later, they play Chelsea. So we have an extra 2 days of rest. This is coming in from Chelsea Transfer on Twitter. So we have an extra 2 days of rest. Whether this means much, I don't know. Again, we had, I think, a couple of extra days of rest against Liverpool in the final of the Carabao Cup, and we looked like dead men walking towards the end of that game there, when they had all the energy in the world, even though they had played, I think they had played on Wednesday, and then obviously played the final, and then we hadn't played for a couple extra days. But I'm going to quickly end this video with maybe a controversial take. I've seen a number of people on Twitter and a number of Chelsea fans having the opinion that to boo players at football games, it shouldn't be done. And that it's despicable if you decide to boo players at the games, and that you should rally behind them no matter what. I think, well, I disagree with that statement. I think as a Chelsea fan, you have the right to show your displeasure towards a team if they are underperforming, and if there's a specific player who has consistently shown they're unable to show up on a consistent basis, I think you have every right to boo them, especially if they're if they are the highest paid player at the club, and they're not pulling their weight, and they're taking chances away from other players who are more deserving, like Cole Palmer. He should have been on the penalty. I don't know why we didn't have a specific penalty taker. I think even Nizar Kinsella said that Chelsea FC do not have a specific or a player who is set to take each penalty whenever they're on the field. I think it should be Cole Palmer, and I think it should be Cole Palmer alone. I think he's the one who is most set for that role. I think he's the one who is most consistent at the club right now at scoring penalties, and I think he's the one who is riding on the momentum right now and who's most likely to score them. But to say that you can't boo players, especially Raheem Sterling, I completely disagree with that. I think you have the right to boo players. You have the right to voice your displeasure towards a player. Just because they play for your club doesn't mean you have to blindly support them. If you have an ill feeling towards them, boo them. Don't hurl them racial abuse, or don't hurl them personal abuse. There's no need for that, but you can boo players and you can show your discontent towards them. I think that's fair. But again, Chelsea will face Manchester City in the semi-final of the FA Cup at Wembley. I don't think we'll be at Wembley anytime soon, but hey-ho, we are going to be there once again this season. Just goes to show Chelsea's DNA is still there slightly. Even during our worst period of recent history, we are still at Wembley somewhat consistently. So there's that. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. I've been the Quick Take, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.